Addictions. Today I want to talk to you about addictions and some addictions that I've personally had and overcame them in my life. And I'm not here to say that addictions are always same for everyone as far as overcoming them. For me, an addiction started with a thought, and then I fed into that thought, and I kept feeding that thought to where it grew into something way bigger than myself. And it, over the years, I'm 43 years old at this point here, and we all live on the same planet as we know here on planet Earth, and the addictions on this earth that we live are not a secret to us, especially us as men. The things that we're dealing with, whether it's alcohol or drugs of some sort, or whether it's prescription drugs or other drugs, street drugs, whatever, etc., doesn't really matter. Porn, sexual immorality, adultery, etc. It's all takes space in our brain and takes up space in our brain when we're addicted to something that is not where we want to go in life, and we know it's not where we want to go, but we don't know how to get rid of it, and we're ashamed to expose it to other people and other men because of what they might think of us. And for myself, what I realized finally here just recently, it's been some time ago now, but what I came to realize is I have to expose it, to find someone that I can confide in, another man, another human being that you can trust and confide in, and go have a deep, direct, authentic conversation with another man, and expose what you're dealing with. What are your thought patterns every day when you get out of bed? What's the first thing you think about? What are things you think about when you get upset over something, or you have a bad day and you want to go have instant gratification? What are the things that come to your mind? I'm going to go get me an alcoholic drink, or I'm going to go to a strip club, or whatever. Every man on this planet has some sort of an addiction, or some sort of a thought that is not always what we want to think about, but the thoughts keep happening, and then we feed into them, and it's been said that you will get more of what you think about all the time. You'll get more of whatever you're thinking about. And I've proven that to be true for myself, and I'm not saying that everybody experiences, like I said, the same things, but we are on the same planet, and us as men think that it makes us less of a man somehow if we expose our things that we battle with, our addictions that we battle with in life. I've proven for myself that's not true. And I'm not sitting here today talking about this in my comfort zone, because this is very uncomfortable to talk about. But I do believe that there's a lot of men that want to talk about addictions, whatever it may be. They want to talk about it, but they don't want to expose themselves, because they might be afraid that their character, or their business, their personal life, their marriage is in jeopardy, etc. Their friends, they might lose a bunch of their friends if they expose to their friends what they've been battling with, and then so they just stuff it. They just stuff it and stuff it and stuff it and stuff it, and try to put on a face and a facade and a fake. And then they're fake, and then they're insecure, and then it's a snowball effect. And what we have to understand as human beings is insecurities come out in our nonverbal communication, whether we like it or not. You can put on a face and make it look like you got all your shit together when you know deep down that you don't. And you can go spend $2,000 or $3,000 on an outfit that you can cover your physical body with, comb your hair, cut your hair just perfectly, however you want to do, follow the fads and the styles and the fashions, and think that that's going to somehow fill your insecurity, when your insecurity has nothing to do with your hair or the clothes you wear or anything like that. And you're thinking somehow the clothes you wear and the way you cut your hair and the way you talk and the way you look and how much money you have in the bank is somehow going to fix your addiction and make you look like you somehow don't battle with an addiction. It's such bullshit. And I'm talking to myself. I'm not here preaching to anybody but to myself, but I hope I can help other men to understand that addictions are real and we all have them. It just matters on how we deal with them. That's really what I've came to realize for myself. Is I had a sexual immorality addiction, and it made me insecure. I had done some very immoral things in my marriage, and I've been married for 24 years now, and I'm still married to the same woman. And I used to think that if I would just go get a different wife, then some of my addictions would be fulfilled. Well, that was the older I get and the longer I'm married and the more I look at other men and talk to other men and have deep conversations with other men, going and getting a different woman and getting a trophy woman, you can be married to the best looking woman on the planet, and that's not going to fix your addictions if you have an addiction. And I'm not here to say that I know everything, because I don't, because I'm still learning just as other men are learning. But what I have learned is if you expose your shame and you expose your addiction, it will not have as much power over you anymore. And I'm not here to say that it will go away in 5 minutes and never come back, because that's not true either. But it will start having less power over you if you expose it for what it is. That's been my personal experience, and it will literally free up space in your brain, because you don't have to try to hide it from your friends, your coworkers, your children, your wife, your whoever you're around, because you're free from it. And when I expose some of my addictions, I've had many in the past. When I exposed them and shined a light on them, it was the most embarrassing moment of my life. Every time that I've had to expose an addiction, but it was the most freeing thing at the same time, because I didn't have to worry about trying to hide it anymore from anybody. Whether it was from, if you believe in God, I didn't have to, not everybody believes in God, and that's fine, but I do believe in God, and I didn't have to worry about hiding from Him anymore. I can't hide anything from God anyway. He knows it all anyway. He created you. He knows what you're battling with. But what I'm talking about is, you don't have to hide it from anybody that you're around on a daily basis, because you don't have anything to hide, because you exposed it. If I get off my chair right now and I go over there and I flip this light switch that's in this room, the darkness will take over. And what I learned is addictions and anything bad that you hold on to in your life, your strongholds, your bondages, etc., it can be a lot of different things. It likes darkness. If you want to go exercise an addiction, go do whatever it is that you want to do, whether it is that you want to smoke a line of coke, or you want to go get drunk and go be an alcoholic, but you don't want anyone to know it because you're in the closet with your addictions. I mean, there's a reason why they call it skeletons in the closet. And it's, like I said, I'll go flip this light switch off and see what happens. The darkness will take over. And addictions live in darkness, like I said. That's just a fact. Doesn't matter who you are, what your name is, or who you think you are. You're not above that law, because that's the law. Darkness will always be where addictions and bad things hang out at. It's way easier to go into a half-lit room and go mess around with a woman that's not your wife or not your girlfriend or not your woman to be touching. If the room is half lit, it's way easier to do that than it is to be in this room that I'm in right now. If you think that someone might come in the door, but if the room's half lit, they can't totally see what's going on. So it's going to be easier to be vulnerable in a half lit room. Let me go shut this light off and see what happens. Yeah, it's completely dark. Now, turning the light back on, light will always be more powerful than dark. And it's the same way with positive, negative. Positive thoughts will always be stronger than negative thoughts if you exercise the positive thoughts long enough. And I've proven that to be true for myself. And it's not only for myself, it's for it's for the human race. If we think that we can somehow overtake the light with darkness, that's not true. You'll never do that. That's why when you expose your skeletons in the closet, where it's a half lit or a dark place, your addictions per se, when you expose them and you shine the light on them, whether you're embarrassed as heck or not, the thing that I had to come to is I want to be free and I want to live a fulfilling life, and I don't want to hide anymore from anybody on this planet and from God. Because I want to be free and I want to live a free life. Doesn't mean that I don't have struggles in life. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I've had many addictions in my life, and the only way that I've ever been able to overcome them is to shine a light on them and tell my wife, my family, etc., so that they can hold me accountable. And it has worked every time. But I will also say this, it has been the most painful, embarrassing, shaming thing that I've ever done. But as soon as I've done it, it was out there, and now I could deal with it. I didn't have to hide it anymore. So now I could start overcoming it. And it's usually really, really quickly once you expose it. You feel so much better when you expose an addiction. And this is something that I'm really passionate about, and that's why I'm sitting here talking about it. Something else that I have had to figure out in my life is if I want to be confident, I can't have addictions and confidence at the same time. I can have fake confidence, but it's not really authentic confidence if I have an addiction that I'm battling with. And addictions will steal your identity also. They will steal your identity. You can wrap your identity into alcohol or being a womanizer or whatever it is you battle with. And the other thing I want to talk to you about is don't ever let the dark side or your conscience, etc., a voice tell you that you are the only one that battles with these addictions. And you're ashamed to talk about it because other men don't battle with it. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Other men battle with addictions. They just don't talk about it because they're ashamed. But because they don't know the freedom on the other side of exposing them, or they would expose them. I can't speak for other men, but I hope they would expose them if they knew the freedom on the other side. And I'm personally talking from experience here, of my own experience. I'm not basing this on anyone else's experience. This is things that I have personally experienced. And it took me a long time to figure this stuff out. But I'm here to share it, not because I want to impress somebody or feed my ego or whatever, because I have a heart for other men. And if us as men can't step up and figure out how to deal with our addictions, how do we think that the world is ever going to become a better place? I hope this blesses whoever has listened to this. And keep on keeping on and never give up.